If you can't tell, the whole black Scottish thing and the whole gingers are black thing, like, Americans are obsessed with black people. It's clear. Even the racist ones. We are obsessed with black people. We love them. Most of us love them. There are a few of us that act like they hate them, but they're also obsessed.
Why would America, specifically white America, obsess over African American culture and later on just black cultures generally when we are supposed to be the bottom crust of this American pie? What kind of sense does that make? Why, time and time again, generation after generation, would we specifically be the focus, the subject of this fixation? It has all the hallmarks of addiction, and there's levels to it. I've said this in the past, but the slave trade was essentially a drug business. Most of the cash crops were drugs, sugar, coffee, tobacco, tea, chocolate. These are all drugs run by people far more vicious than any cartel leader that you've seen plastered across the news in the last 50 years. That's just a perhaps not so incidental layer on top of the fact that, as I said in the other video, whiteness is a stripping of culture. So as people were stripping themselves of culture in the context of the US, the outside crust, the one that had to remain there as a promise to all groups that were coming into the US that they could eventually achieve the other polar opposite, which is white masculinity, generation after generation, because they weren't allowed to climb that same socioeconomic ladder, was the only bastion of culture being retained, whereas everyone else was actively stripping themselves of it. I made a video under a different comment talking about how suburbia is a mechanism in the making of whiteness, and suburbia is a post-World War II product. The modern definition of whiteness also kind of solidified post-World War II. So, that included Germans, that included Italians, that included Irish, that included all these people. A good portion of them got funneled into the suburbia machine where they started being stripped of their cultural identifiers that they still had retained in the 10s, 20s, 30s. It's at this point that the thing that starts with an F and ends with an ish really started to kick into another gear in relation to the African American identity. It's at this point that rock and roll and jazz go global and start to captivate white audiences en masse. At this suburban turning point that the white consumption of African American culture goes from minstrelsy shows to white people genuinely trying to embody the culture, the feel, the music of the African American experience for white audiences. Elvis, Rolling Stone. I mean, we could name them all day, but they're all coming out of this period where white America is being funneled into the suburbs and stripped of their culture, and they're hungry. They're being made to starve in the name of this baptism that they have been promised. Imagine someone being convinced to fast for the rest of their life by a charismatic cult leader. Meanwhile, sitting right next to them, there's someone just anger, jealousy, fixation, desire, all of these things will be swirling in this person at the same time as they try to convince themselves that they are doing something good for themselves, even though it is literally unhealthy. And the thing right next to them is what they need and what they want, because desire is a huge element of this. And that's where the gender aspect of this comes into it. And there's also I don't want to say the word because it's going to get this video taken down, but that's why it's an F and ends with an ish. It's a fixation. It's an addiction. This is why I maintain that this entire country is like an individual person who has psychological issues and needs help. And it's through understanding the micro that you can understand the macro, and the individual that you can understand the collective, vice versa. The great irony of exclusion from fiscal capital for black people in America was a retention of cultural wealth. Used to only be niggas, now everybody playing. Spending everything on Alexander Wang. That's not how he meant it. He meant it in the opposite way, but it still works. Because the reality is now everybody has a quote unquote opportunity to play in this game and baptize themselves or attempt to baptize themselves into whiteness. And it's causing cultural dilution amongst black communities in the context of the US. And I feel like that is reflected in where you see hip hop at right now. Whereas in past decades, you saw other forms of African American and black art get diluted by quote unquote white people, like rock and roll and jazz, and turned into shadows of themselves. Now you see the same thing happening to hip hop, but it's not just white people diluting it. We are also diluting our own culture because on some levels we've lost sight of the plot. We've lost sight of the power of cultural capital, just like everybody else. And now we live in this situation where we ask, how does this happen? How does no one know how to build community? How are we all trapped in these little boxes? How have our lives become one giant commercial?
obsession with deeply melanated women, with melanin-rich women, with black women needs to be fucking studied. Why would you put on that costume? I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't even, it gets to a motherfucking point. It gets to a point. What is that? I don't even know what to say. Literal costumes, literal blackface. Like, people are so obsessed. Yet they swear that they can't stand us and we have no culture and everybody got black fatigue, which you can't have black fatigue if you're not a black person. But y'all already know they co-opted and colonized. Everybody in the fucking world swears that they cannot stand black people, particularly black women. Yet this is the type of shit that they do in every part of the world. Somebody's copying us. They swear we have no culture. Don't nobody care. Though ain't nobody trying to be like you. Explain this. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. The obsession is real.
Hello guys, welcome back to yet another video by Salini Reacts. If you're new to this channel, kindly remember to push the subscribe button and also give this video a thumbs up. Also, kindly remember to share this video to your friends so that we grow as a big family. Thank you and welcome.
As a white woman who really loves black men, who's dating a black man, married to a black man, I'm so tired of the overplayed stereotype that, like, we're gonna end up single mothers. Because let's just be honest, a lot of black men are amazing fathers, and a lot of white men, they're not great fathers. Okay? It just is what it is. But a lot of that stereotype really comes from their insecurity. A lot of them probably like watching BBC, like the British Broadcasting Channel, if you know what I mean. So I think it stems from that.
She is obsessed with black people, especially black women. Me? Obsessed with black people? No. Nope. I am just simply admiring the black beauty of my beautiful sisters and brothers, my dear. Is that okay? Good. I'm glad we are clear. And you know what? I wish I have dark skin. But nope. God gave me a Filipina skin so that I can admire the black beauty of my brothers and sisters. And tell my brothers, go marry a Filipina queen because we Filipina love a black king. Mwah.
Now it's time to talk about the men that can't seem to take their hands off of children. And out of respect for all of the victims like myself, that's all I'll say about that. If you know, you know. As we discussed with black women's hair, black men's hair too bears a very odd obsession. I'm sure you've noticed at all of the various college campuses and high schools that the sudden straight hair kids now are obsessed with curly hair and a fade. A clear indicator of replicating what they see, which is simply theft. Privileged women have a tendency to hold space for such hatred within their gifts, and privileged men will unapologetically steal from a black man, no problem. Which actually brings me to the obsession of black man's masculinity. Privileged men are obsessed with black men's masculinity. They obsess over the ability of the black man to shine in any circumstance, even at the hands of the abusers, the police. Privileged men would more than likely cross-dress before they could ever fully exude the levels of godlike masculinity that black men naturally have. Privileged people hide their obsessions behind hatred, when they could just admit they're obsessed with black people.
TikTok, how do I get some of my content to reach the white folks that I really want to be talking to and conversing with? Maybe it reaches some of y'all and you don't engage because you don't have an argument or you don't care to actually lean into and try to learn how we can be better. But I specifically want this to reach the white folks who are obsessed with or drawn to black culture and who are not allowing that to transform us, make us better human beings, and then taking that and actively working to dismantle the violent and delusional system of anti-black racism and white supremacy. Because otherwise, we're a lot like those white vampires in the movie Sinners, the Irish dude and the Klan member and his wife. We want to be energy vampires, creative vampires, culture vultures, suck all the energy, the rhythm, the seasoning, the goodness, the creativity, the ingenuity out of Black culture, profit off of it, get like cool points from it, whatever it is, for our proximity to Blackness. Oh, and also like whether we're friends with, in relationship with Black people, we adopt a Black child. It's the, I'm not racist, I adopted a Black kid. I'm not racist, I date Black men. I'm not racist, I have Black friends. We are racist. That's point blank, period. When you are in a violent racist system, we all have racism we need to continuously confront. Anti-Blackness we continuously need to confront. And that goes for all people. Anti-Blackness is in all of us. The delusion and violence of white supremacy, white beauty standards, all of it is something we need to be able to identify and confront, right? So that takes it and it makes it less personal. It should. And then when we are learning from Black comedians, Black music artists, Black writers, poets, playwrights, academics, inventors, we are learning from, inspired by, challenged to grapple with our humanity. If that does not translate into tangible action to tear this shit down, we are just like the vampires and sinners, just taking, and wanting to profit and benefit from it, and not doing anything to make this world, this country more livable, safer, more equitable, whatever language you want to use. Less volatile, less violent. When we actively work to force ourselves, these systems, our community members, our church, our fellow church members, our employers and our coworkers, our friends, our loved ones, to take the boot off the neck of Black folks and just let them live. Like, look at the destruction of Black Wall Street, Lake Lanier. Black folks, descendants of chattel slavery, enslaved people when abolition happened and Black folks freed themselves. Don't get that twisted. Don't believe the lie about Abraham Lincoln and all that. He hated Black people. He wanted to ship everyone back off to Africa once they were freed. And they never got reparations, still to this day. Even then, during Reconstruction, Black folks were able to build vibrant cities and towns, build up what they did in Tulsa, Greenwood. And white folks terrorize them and burn it all to the ground. So the least we could do is do the work of making it so that this world stops terrorizing Black people. So if we're just find ourselves enthralled with and mesmerized by and obsessed with Black culture, trying to emulate Black culture, trying to take from Black culture, so many music artists, all forms of music derive from and are originally from Black culture, Black people. We want to take it all and we want to do nothing with it. And we have to reckon with that in our souls. And so if we want to be more human, let that draw. It makes sense that we're drawn to Black culture. It's the blueprint. It's the source. These are the children of the Most High. Of course, they're going to be the most brilliant creators. The least we can do is try to make the world more livable for those who have inspired us, those who have made us more human, those who have helped point us to and direct us to the Most High.
Y'all, the shift has finally hit the fan. People are waking up and realizing that something is missing, something that is necessary, something that is needed. A little bit of almond joy, a little bit of nougat crunch, Hershey's bar, Reese's cup. They're realizing that they need chocolate. So the ones that have distanced themselves from us, they're waking up and realizing, hold on, that we've always been the magic, the Black magic, y'all. What the helly? The veil is really lifting, y'all.
I miss Black people. I know that sounds crazy, but I am from Georgia, and I used to go to HBCU, and the majority of my friends were Black, and Now I live in a small town in California, and I miss black people. There's not very many here, and I hate it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my job, I love my friends here, but I miss black people. Don't come for me. I miss the culture, I miss the vibe, I miss the confidence, the jokes, the food. I miss black people. Something's missing in my life, and I've come to the conclusion that that's what it
I need
is.
some black joy. The fact that black joy even exists as a concept in the world is miraculous to me. Asians are no good at joy. We are good at working hard and being diligent and doing our best, but not joy. Colonizers too. Rich lives, no joy. We should never have hooked our stars to theirs. But black people, especially black Americans, are the best at joy. You've turned it into an art form. I know it came from terrible hardship that you've turned into soul and then into joy. And we, Chinese people, we just turn that hardship into more hard work. But I know you can't give it to us. We have to go out and earn it for ourselves just like you did.
What do you mean by that?
Where I'm from in Pennsylvania, it's mainly Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and the Spanish community, and bless their souls, are great people. They brought great culture and all that. But they always would mess up my beard. The first thing they would do is they would hack it off. I don't like my beard to be short, and they would always end up making it short on me no matter what I told them. And it would always be a language barrier too. And then because of the way my beard grows, I would try to explain to them that you can't make it even, you have to make it look even because of the way that it grows, and they would never do that. And then today I decided to give another barber a chance. After years, I came to a black-owned barber shop. And I'm just saying, I think I found a barber.
See, this is exactly what we tried to tell y'all for the past 400 years, but nobody didn't want to hear us. You know what I'm saying? What did y'all do? Y'all hid our history, y'all lied to us, y'all manipulated us, did some crazy things to us. For the past 400 years, we tried to tell y'all, we tried to show y'all how to live in harmony with nature, how to live in harmony with us. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to work in order to earn a living in this system. That's not how nature works. But y'all didn't want to listen to us. Then you guys took our spirituality, you turned it to religion, you made it evil so we wouldn't be able to use it and wake up out of this spell that majority of our people are locked in currently. But now the shift has literally hit the fan. Our brothers and our sisters are waking up, and now this is the collapse of this three-dimensional system because we don't want to play this game anymore. This is what actually brings me black joy. So yes, y'all, my brothers and sisters, the shift is here, but I want you to realize everywhere you go, I want you to know that you are someone's almond joy, okay? The shift is here. Everybody's going through it. They see it. They feel it. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care. Jerry.
For all you chocolate men out there, who said it was okay to be that fine, that athletic, that sexy, so sweet, wonderful personalities, strong, tough. We won't talk about that one. Your lips, ooh, your kisses and your hugs just hit different. And like my daddy says, not too light, don't like him too dark. I like it just right. Yes, my dad is okay with me dating black guys. Oh yeah, I'm pregnant. I don't know what it is. Y'all just like give me like freaking butterflies or something. I can't wait to find mine. People are always like, you look so innocent, you know, like you're so sweet, innocent. So I love them.
Oh, I do think that white people are absolutely jealous of black people, specifically with the community, and also with like fashion and music and everything else that is appropriated. But by design of what whiteness is, it inherently lacks community. And I think we're absolutely jealous of that. And I've heard biracial people say that they do see that difference in their own families. Because in addition to European cultures being more individualistic than cultures from Africa, South America, and indigenous North American cultures, the invention of whiteness in America erased a lot of ties
to actual culture. So when I say like white people, black community, I'm not talking about like Polish people or German people or Irish people. As I explain in my book, I just wrote the intro and I'm working on the conclusion today. Y'all keep me in your prayers. In the course of human history, white is a relatively new term. As we discussed in the introduction to this book, white is a North American term emerging from the 1600s as a term to justify the enslavement of Africans and squelch revolts from poor Europeans and indentured servants. Before this term, Europeans would identify with their nationalities. The Irish, Italians, Germans, French are all very different cultures. Thus, there is not the same communal tie to whiteness as there is for people from other communities. Further, since white was created to be a divider, a separator, it is not a happy identity. It is not something people want to admit they relate to. It doesn't have a rich, healthy history. Speaking as a white American who has conducted national level research on white Americans, we tend to say things like we have German, Irish, Italian, etc. ancestry, even if we have never been to those places. This is because all white Americans have ties to immigration, and because these identities are actual cultures, they do not have roots only in oppression. Now, we know who started colonization, right? So this is the book I'm trying to finish by Monday and send to the editor. There's a free chapter in my bio if you're interested on one of the unwritten rules of work. The book is predominantly about class, but I talk about 3 other identities that you can't talk about class without talking about these other identities, and race is absolutely one of them.
Black people are an obsession. The world is obsessed with us. It was never hate. It's always been envy. It's always been envy. It was never hate. We thought it was hate this whole time. They don't hate us. They envy us. They want everything we have. They want to be us. They want our demeanor, our swag, our lingo, our abilities, our intellectuality. They want our brain power. Believe it or not, they've convinced us that black people can't read. Black people usually are the dumber ones in the classroom, whatever the case may be. But honestly, that's not true. And a lot of black people have gone on to believe that. So, you know, when you believe that, you don't even try sometimes. That's a whole nother conversation. But they've put certain things not only in black people's minds, but in other people of color's minds around the world. So not only do white people envy us, but other people of color envy us, and then they pass it off as hate, and they discriminate against us and all of that, but do everything that we do. They want to talk like us, they want to walk like us, dance like us, copy our music style, K-pop. You get what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I don't have any hate for none of these people, but my thing is, it's so weird that y'all act like we're the scum of the earth, but copy our every single move, from the way we speak to music to fashion to everything. The fashion world, these big fashion houses, guess what they get their inspiration from? The ghetto, the hood, the streets, hip hop. You get what I'm saying? They get it from all types of black people from every end of the spectrum. They don't actually hate us. Because when you hate somebody and you feel like you're better than somebody or a group of people, you don't copy what they do. You don't mimic what they do. You get what I'm saying? You don't even engage in stuff that's of their culture or of their lifestyle. You get what I'm saying? So it's not hate, it's envy. Y'all ever been in school, and especially when you was younger, and kids would be like, I don't like you, or I don't like her because, and they never have a real explanation. They just say because, and then now y'all fighting and y'all beefing in elementary school, middle school for no reason, when really the basis of that is envy. They want something you have. They want to be you. They want to look like you, whatever the case may be. On a larger scale, that's the rest of the world to black people. And more specifically, I'm gonna be honest, more specifically, black Americans. That may be a whole nother conversation. And don't get me wrong, black Americans obviously get a lot of stuff directly from Africa. I mean, because we're originally from Africa, so our ways we're literally African American, you know what I'm saying? It's African based regardless, right? But you know what? That's a whole other TikTok. The message I want to send to all my fellow black people out there is, if you ever feel the effects of racism and it kind of gets into your head and makes you subconsciously feel like you are less than, or you feel like, damn, I'm hated because I'm black, or, you know, me and my people are hated or looked down on, or looked at like we're just the scum of the earth and we're just bad people by nature or something, remember that it's the total opposite. These people worship us. Honestly, they do. They fake like they don't. They pretend like they hate us, but they copy everything we do. They worship us. They want to be us. We lead them. We lead the pack. We lead the trend in everything. You get what I'm saying? So remember to walk with your head high. I'm not trying to get deep in all that, but to be honest, I need y'all to remember to walk with your head high as a black person, because you literally are what everybody wants to be. You get what I'm saying? And the proof is online. The proof is out in the world. The proof is in everyday life. I'm not just making this shit up. They want to be us. So don't let them get in your head and make them think that they think they're better than you, because they don't think that. They know they're not better than you, but they want you to think that, so you don't know who you are and what you have and what we are as black people. You get what I'm saying?
You probably wonder, why do white people pay so much attention to black people if they don't like them? You would think if you didn't like something, why would you be paying attention to it? I don't pay attention to things I don't like.
What's the answer?
The answer is the liar knows what lie he told. You see what I'm saying? So even if I made it deceitful and I made you think that the answer's over here, but the answer is really over here, I'm still gonna be looking over here. Me, the one that tricked, because I know this is the right answer. Black people have lost their identity, but our oppressors have not lost our identity. That's just why they chopped those noses off of the Pharaoh and the Sphinx in Egypt in the first place, is because without this nose, we can tell you this is whoever it is. But with that nigga nose, it can only be niggas. Why would somebody vandalize a whole face and only vandalize one part? Nobody wanted to knock an eye off or take an ear off or no chins missing. No, just the nose. Because it's a brand.
So folks, let's talk about something a lot of people notice but don't quite say it out loud to the world. And this is, why is it that black people are always constantly being watched? Yeah, we need to understand this because it is something that is getting crazier online in TikToks, Twitter, every social media. We are seeing this. Yeah, everything we do, everything the black community is doing is always going to be a topic. Yeah, I hope everyone has noticed this so far. How we dress, how we talk, what music we make. Yeah, our culture is always going to be a topic for these guys. Yeah, so even how we suffer, that's something that we've noticed. There's this strange pattern that whereby black culture is admired, yeah, and copied, also consumed, if you've not noticed. But the black people themselves are still misunderstood. Why is it that? And so, yeah, that's where the obsession shows, because if it was just some type of appreciation, it wouldn't come with too much surveillance, yeah? If it was some type of admiration, these guys are trying to admire us, it wouldn't come with too much control, because this is what we are experiencing as a black community. This is what we are seeing in the day in life, yeah? Think about it. When you think about this situation like this, the black community or the black culture, it does set trends globally, yeah? Music, slang, fashion, everything, humor. You can see the black community entailed in every impact that is in this world. The internet runs on black creativity also, yeah? But the moment the black people exist outside of entertainment, it's going to be suddenly like, these guys are too loud, yeah? They're too aggressive, too much. Why? Why is it like that? So which is it? So is it that we are supposed to be entailed, or rather fenced into one industry? That's what these guys are trying to show us. One thing I know is you can't love the culture. You can never love the culture but hate the people who created it. That is something that is going to be impossible. You can't just love their culture, yeah, and hate them. The people who started the culture, you can't hate them. So this is what we know. The white folks really like us, the black people, because they know our roots. They know our capability. Yeah. This is something that we should be really proud of, because why are they constantly watching us? Why would you focus onto watching something that you hate? Yeah. Why? Well, because personally, yeah, true, as you've seen, it's something that is happening. They're always constantly watching us, waiting for topics, waiting for something to just trigger or something to do uh, concerning the black community. This isn't new, because historically, during the slave trade, or rather during the segregation, the black movement was thoroughly monitored. The bodies, everything was just controlled. You know that, yeah? We can tell, like, it is something that was documented. But today, it feels a little bit different. The control looks different from what was happening back then, yeah? But the attention, it never left. The attention that they gave the black culture or the black community, it never left. Now it is happening online. You can see it on commentaries. Yeah, you can see it as a concern. Like, it's so big, for real. But it is still watching. They're still watching the black community. This is something that we are supposed to understand this. They really, really fear our capability. They know what we are, for real. Black people are always a debate. They're always going to be a debate everywhere. With every culture, black people are always going to be a debate. Our existence, like, it's always just something to analyze and judge for these people. And that is something that is amazing, because we are the blueprint. Yeah. You can see the black trauma becomes content outside here. Yeah. When our struggles are turned into think pieces. Yeah. This is something that is happening right now. It's not something that we can pretend to say that is not happening. No, 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 no. When you see it, the black success, when a black person is successful, it is always questioned. Why? Because they believe we are not successful. Yeah? Or rather, we are not more celebrated. That's what they really pushed for. Everywhere, in the medias, like, people grow knowing black people are not supposed to be successful, which is so wrong. Yeah. Let's also be clear about this. This is not about every individual white person. No, 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 no. This is a system. This is about a system and a culture that has been created and enforced into us. Yeah. That is a culture that is always there against the black people. Yeah. That's why we need to talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah. It is something to study, because they really fear the blackness. Yeah. So what do you think? Is it true that these white people are really obsessed with us? According to what we are saying online right now. Them trying to do our culture, our slangs, our music, our fashion. Yeah. Even others go to an extent of changing their bodies, how they look physically. One thing these people need to understand is appreciation isn't something that erases the origin. It should never erase the origin. And respect doesn't mock or exploit. It shouldn't do that. So the black people are never asking to be watched. We're just asking to be treated better. That's all that these people need. It's not wrong to assimilate with our culture, but we just need to have you guys sit down and treat us better. That's all that we all actually require. Yeah. We never wanted to be watched. We just need you guys to treat us better as human beings. And so until the next video, you guys, I'd like you to get active on the comment section and tell me what you think about this. Also, remember to share this video, give it the thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel to help us grow. And also, for you to get more conversations like this, you have to subscribe. Thank you.